And we are live with Collegiate Karting League Season 4 Division 4 Finals. I am FIU Ted Bear, and I am joined here today by...
What's up? I'm Ami. I'm from RAT.
And man, what a matchup do we have here tonight. Morgan State University versus North Carolina State University. These are two teams that have been so closely bonded together that you cannot tell the story of their teams and their history without the other. And the fact that they are now both facing each other for their first ever chance at a division championship for both teams is quite incredible.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a really fun match to watch tonight. I mean, so these two teams, they did play each other in the regular season, and that match ended with a 6-point difference. So this is going to be an incredibly close match, I think, throughout the 2, maybe 3 wars we'll get to see from these two teams tonight.
Yep, and there's so much history packed into this one match. It's going to be so incredible and so exciting to watch. You have Morgan State here on the left. Morgan State has competed in all four seasons of Collegiate Karting League, as well as Syllabus Week 1. This is their second time in playoffs overall. In the first season, they barely missed it due to a technicality tiebreaker rule. Season 2, they made it to playoffs as the second seed in Division 3, but they narrowly lost in an upset to University of Nebraska. Season 3 did not go correctly for Morgan State. They had to forfeit a bunch of matches, and it was just unfortunate all around. But they've made it back into playoffs. They got the 3-game run back versus University of Nebraska-Lincoln in almost the exact same scenario, and now they are here in the finals, ready to claim their destiny. Zay himself, the captain of Morgan State, has been saying for a long time that the one thing missing from his Mario Kart resume, his 8 Deluxe resume, is a 6v6 banner. He has won multiple lands in the Morgan State, Maryland area. He has won multiple Mogies and gotten into gold in Loud. And the one thing he feels he is missing is a 6v6 banner, and this is the closest he has come to claiming it. But you can't shrug off NC State as well. Ami, you played against NC State last season. If you have any insight you would like to give us.
Yeah, NC State's a really strong team, to be fully honest. And also, outside of playing with this team, against this team last season, I have also played a lot with this team just, as an ally, as a friendly. And I gotta say, this is a really strong team that we're seeing from NC State. You've got Jay, who's a phenomenal shot caller, a phenomenal IGL for this team. I think he's probably one of their strongest links outside of just straight racing. I mean, he has made some phenomenal calls in the wars I've seen with him. And this team as a whole just has a lot of great depth. And I think they just have a lot of really talented players on this team.
Yep, I would say 1,000% that depth is their key to winning. I would say Morgan State with their lineup of Zay, Nitro, Mega MZ, Ghostly, Aster, and Ronan. I would say that they have probably the 2 best players overall in Zay and Nitro. Nitro's been a little bit shaky with how he's been playing, but when Nitro is on, he is on. He is a phenomenal player. And Zay, of course, second overall in terms of individual score, a force to be reckoned with. And one thing I gotta say about this Morgan State lineup that's different from the others is that they don't quit. They don't quit on themselves, and they don't give up. In the past, you may have seen shades of Morgan State maybe when the pressure starts mounting, that maybe they crumble a little bit and they start faltering in their gameplay, but Morgan State's been able to hold on and do really well mentally this season. And especially shout out to Mega MZ, who has just had incredible growth as a player. But as you said earlier, NC State, man, that Wolfpack, they have strength in numbers. You have Greensicle, Pios, Rio, Jay, Itzami, and Prism. They definitely have, I think, especially on paper, the 3 through 8 in this matchup. Maybe not 3 through 8, but their path to victory, I think, is a lot smoother. That's why they have a 9-1 record in the regular season. They just got to play the numbers game. They got to rely on their depth and their strength in numbers and just outscore the rest of Morgan. You got to have Zay and Nitro have big games, and you got to have one of the other players. They got to step up, and they got to have the game of their lives right now if they want to have this banner.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely going to be an interesting match tonight. We're really going to be, I think, seeing, almost like the game of depth versus having those really strong star players that can pull off those top spots every race. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, man. I'm very excited to see what the track picks will be like. For those that do not know, for finals there are no repicks in between games. So a track you play in game 1 for, let's say, race 2, you cannot pick for the rest of the set. And especially in these lower div matches, the track picks start to get very unique. So I'm really interested to see kind of what the strategy here is going into it for both teams. Because another thing about how you can't tell a story of these teams without the other, when NC State was first getting into the game at the end of season 2 last spring and going into summer switch up 1, their mentor were Zay and the rest of Morgan State. Morgan State kind of tutored NC State in the way of playing Mario Kart, and now it's kind of we're in a student meets the master, student fights the teacher sort of level here, and it's going to be fun to watch. And here we go. We are starting off Division 4 finals.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very interesting start. We do see NC State hosting, so I believe they're going to be top 6, and we are seeing the Daisy Cruiser pick from them here in that top 6 position, which makes a lot of sense. Daisy Cruiser is probably one of the strongest running tracks in the game, in my opinion, and really gives you a lot of chances, just kind of run away with that lead. But we are seeing Romavanti being picked here by Morgan State, which is also a really good track if you've got those bottom spots. There's a lot of great shortcuts that allow you to catch up pretty easily.
Yeah, Morgan State is actually a pretty popular pick, or Romavanti is a pretty popular pick by Morgan State. So starting off with one of their stronger tracks, try to set the pace, get momentum on your side. This is going to be a very interesting race 1.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what happens here in the in this first race. I think it's gonna be very interesting. As we go into this, we are seeing that majority NC State top, like I was saying. We do see a couple Morgan State University players though making it up into those front spots off rip, but also in Romavanti, that's not really the end all be all in this track here. We are gonna see just a very, very tight pack here. Prism almost getting hit by that banana, managing to dodge it pretty easily. Pulling that shroom is going to be really important here for Prism to get back into those top spots. Taking this cut along with a lot of other people, and now they're back up to 4th. Taking the wide line here is a little bit smart. I think it kind of separates you from the pack, makes you a little bit harder to hit, which makes a lot of sense here. And having these 2 attack items in the back is going to be a little tough for them here.
Yep, and holding on to that red shell. It was a smart play, especially with all the players crowding around him. Didn't want to hit out their teammates. But now you can see, especially the effects of missing the first item set, dropping here all the way into 8th, taking a quick glance at the minimap. It looks like it's all Morgan State tops right now. At least top 2, maybe top 3.
Yeah, and that's definitely really interesting here. We know that this is primarily like a shrooming track, kind of a bagging track. So seeing NC State here in the back is a little scary, especially as we're going towards the end of lap 2. We do see Prism use the red shell here, looking to take out.
And Asher gets hit up there.
Yeah, and now we're going into...
They control everything after top 3, it looks like.
Yeah, they are controlling everything after top 3, which is exactly what we were talking about here with NC State, which is what makes them such a strong team. Controlling 3 through 8, I believe makes you positive, even though there is that top 2 from the other team. It's not by a lot, but you are still positive. We are seeing a bomb get thrown, take out a couple players here. We see a lot of NC State near the bottom. I believe they are in last right now.
Yeah, this is a very clean break for the top 2 of Morgan, and they have 3-4 from the looks of it on the minimap right now, too.
Yeah, this is definitely not a great spot for NC State to be in, but a great spot for Morgan State. We do see Prism use the star through the cut here, get the double on the glider.
Like there might have been some team kills too.
Yeah, quite a few team kills, and we do see NC State trying to make their way back up towards the front, and it looks like Prism getting 5th. That is going to be very good for NCSU here. We do see NCSU getting 4 through 8, and I believe 11, which is a pretty good start for them here.
Yep, Morgan will gain in the first race. The top 3 is an automatic gain. But it looked like most of their spots afterwards were pretty low, so this shouldn't be too massive. Yep, 12-point start for Morgan State. Now, it's only the beginning of race 1. It's not the end of the world losing. But one thing, and Ami, maybe you could clarify this, because I know you also played in Division 3 finals last season, right? But kind of when that first game doesn't go well, you have to really hold on to your mental. Like, obviously, staying the course and not tilting is a part of every game, but starting off really badly on the first race, It's kind of the easiest way to spiral in finals, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. It's the easiest way, I think, to spiral in nearly any game is having that first game, that first race, that first round, first anything just go poorly for you. It can definitely do a lot of damage to your team psyche. And I think being able to be resilient here and know it's only race 1, you've still got 11 more races to make that point difference back is something that's so important to recognize here in Mario Kart.
Yep, and here we go. Race 2 on Sunshine Airport. A really good track for top 3 spots. And we're going to be going here on Nitro's point of view on the Peachette. Nitro is one of the first homegrown CKL players who started his career in CKL. As we see him here get redded out, unfortunately. Gone from first into last place. And right now, from the quick onset, it looks like NCSU has most of the top spots right now, though it is pretty contested.
Yeah, although with Sunshine Airport, this being a running track, having a lot of those top spots early does mean a lot on this track. It can definitely spiral very quickly into just a very, very strong lead. But we do see Nitro here, you know, taking their time, getting all these coins, really trying to cycle these boxes for good items, which is exactly what you should be doing in these spots. And I believe that might be that is a star from Rio. I saw it as a shock for a second. But we do see a lot of dodges here for NCSU, which means that if one of them is able to pull the shock here in the back, that's going to be huge for this team. But we also are starting to see, I believe, some members of NCSU make their way near the front of the pack, make their way into like second here, right behind NC State, which is also going to be a little bit scary if they do end up pulling shock here from one of these bottom places.
Yeah, it looks like they're not quite in shock distance yet, but this might be Morgan State's 2 fastest runners might be in the back here. I don't remember if Zay was the Black Birdo, but they're here. Yep, Nitro and Zay are 11 and 12, and that's Morgan State's 2 best players. So it looks like right now NCSU is controlling 1, 3, 4, 6. Morgan in 2, 5. Nitro will pull shrooms here. Accidentally hits the wheel of the plane and it's getting bumped around. Should still be able to take the shroom cut. No, goes wide for the double instead. And right now it looks like the front of the map is all NC State.
Yeah, and that's a little bit scary going for that double here on lap 3, because that is a huge time sink to get those double items. And if you can't pull what you need, that's just, I think it's going to doom you for this race. And I think because of that, we are going to see Nitro stay in the bottom here. They are kind of moving around in these places a little bit because of that ghost, but it looks like they're going to be getting, they've made their way.
There was an explosion at the line there. I think a bomb went off.
Yeah, I think so too. But with that
1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 though for NCSU, and now they're playing with the lead. That was a big race for them.
Yeah, that was absolutely massive for NC State. MSU getting that bottom 2 is really, really good for NC State, because with MSU getting that bottom 4, they're going to lose a lot of points that they could have gained that race. And we see that here. We're seeing Morgan State went from a +12 to a -16. That is a huge race for NC State. And I think that's also going to help them reset their mental a little bit. Because like we were saying after the last race, when your mental goes down, it's very hard to recover. And having a good race like that can really help you recover that mental and keep you playing well.
And here we see Wild Woods coming out for NC State. A great runner, especially for their spots of 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. And it will get selected. Super Bell Subway is kind of a Morgan staple. They do have a 4v4v4 banner from NRC when it was known as the East Coast Racing Collegiate. And their banner track was Super Bell Subway. So I think it's kind of interesting to see them try and bust it out so early. But they will still have it in reserve since we are playing on Wild Woods for race 3.
Yeah, and Wild Woods is such an interesting track. I feel like there's no real wrong way to play this track, and it's just a really, really beautiful track too. It's gonna be very interesting to see how these teams play. And we do see NC State, I believe, starting with an early lead, especially with Prism here in first. That's gonna do a lot of good for this team here. And as they take this line here, we go into the glider. We do see Rio from NC State also making their way into the top here with a shroom in first, which is a huge thing to have here, especially once that blue shell gets thrown. That's going to be huge because they'll be able to dodge it, which it's something Prism can't really do at this moment.
Yep, the trail there, you got to be a little careful. It looks like his teammates are all around him. We will switch back here to Nitro in third place, holding a bomb. Prism's red shell disappears. Looks like it trailed someone out, but Morgan's now breaking into these top spots.
Oh man, throwing that bomb backwards, it seems like it did hit someone there. I'm not sure who it hit. We didn't get to see that, unfortunately. But that is going to do a lot of damage, assuming it hits NC State. We do see reading out someone else on the glider. That's going to be a huge time loss and a very nicely gained spot here for MSU, especially on the side of Nitro. But we do see Prism here also getting hit on a green snipe. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, that's the phenomenal plays of Nitro and the awareness of Zay, because on that first red shell on the glider, Zay gave Nitro the space to hit the red and not trail him out. And now Morgan State is everything after first. Rio tried to go for the back there, but they're just alone dry bones. Nitro getting his item ghosted as Mega has a Rang. Not really in a position to throw here. Mega does yield for Nitro, but Nitro's only able to pull a banana and a shroom.
Yeah, definitely not the ideal spot to be in, especially in second place. But having that banana to protect itself against red shells is huge. And now having that shroom out means that Nitro's going to be able to take this cut a lot easier and probably even just straight up outline Rio here just off this cut.
And they have a bomb.
The bomb going for the snipe, unfortunately unable to hit it.
Just misses. Rio securing that one is huge.
Yeah, Rio securing that one for NC State is massive. We do see that 5 through 9 here from NC State as well.
Morgan State ended up with bottom 3 though. So that might be
interesting.
That might still be a very small gain for NC State there. That was crazy. It looked like they were everything after 1. Something happened in the bottom of the pack there that must have caused some damage. And NC State capitalized. That's their strength in numbers coming in.
Yeah, definitely. That was an insane ending for the race, I think, for NC State. That's going to be really big for ensuring that this lead isn't gonna go too far away from them. Even with that, I believe, what was it? 2-3 from Morgan State?
2-3-4. 2-3-4, bottom 3 from Morgan State.
Yeah, that's definitely, I believe, not positive from them, unfortunately. So I believe NC State's going to continue to expand their lead here, but it's not going to be by a whole lot, I think.
Yep. And we have Shroom Ridge and Athens Dash coming out now. Interesting track picks, and we will be going to Athens Dash.
Yeah, Athens Dash is a pretty good track here, I believe, for Morgan State University. Having those 2-3 spots or 2-3-4 behind 1. You know, Athens is a great track for you to kind of just, you know, get a shroom early and get up ahead in front of 1, or draft 1 and get ahead, which means that this is really a strong track for those top spots behind 1 for Morgan State.
Last race, we can confirm, was a gain for NC State in the end. So that's that incredible depth coming into play there. And starting out here, we are seeing Zay running away, pulling ahead. It looks like Nitro is close by as well. Prism's going to miss an item set, unfortunately, but this is a really close pack. What a smart bounce.
Do you see Prism driving into the off-road, maybe not realizing they didn't have a shroom here? Going for this double, this is definitely going to be a rough spot for them, but being in 11th means they're going to be able to pull some really good items here. Like we do see them pull the star and triple shrooms. And we are seeing a lot of MSU, I think, also in the bottom here. This is a pretty interesting pack here. I think it's pretty alternating, which is definitely interesting to see here on Athens. We do see Prism taking this grass cut pretty well. Managing to get that coin as well, which is going to help them a lot here, because I believe this is also one of those tracks where it's kind of difficult to get coins, or at least it feels like that to me.
It's very difficult to get coins, and I think one thing to note is you will usually start seeing Shock be pulled on that item set that Prism just passed from my experience, but it doesn't really look like anyone is too far back to really be able to pull it. So I'm expecting this race to go shockless, and right now, spots are a little all over the place. Prism activating the star right before driving over the banana, very smart. Zay is still in first. He does have some Morgan State teammates around him, but it is an NC State player in second, it looks like.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting race. It's definitely a very chaotic pack. We could really see anything happen as we go into these final moments of Athens here. And as we go into this final moment, we do see Prism use the Ghost, which is going to help them grab some triple streams, which might be able to gain them a spot or 2 here at the end of this race. Making their way through this last part, not taking the middle path, which I believe is slower, despite it looking like it might be a faster path. Getting 9th overall here from Prism. We do see a 2-5, what is it? 2-5-8, 9-10, 11 from NC State, which is definitely going to be a little rough for them. I think they're going to lose some of that lead they have here.
Yep, that halves their lead from 24 down to 12. This is an incredibly close game after the first GP. And now we enter the mid game. Um, I'm very curious to see kind of not just the adjustments, but also I guess kind of the track strategies. Uh, I assume Morgan State's probably pulling out Super Bell again. If I had to guess, it looks like Prism is switching carts back to Scooty. They've been alternating between the two of them for both games, or for all the races so far.
Yeah, it's
Morgan
definitely
State
interesting.
going Music Park. Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, definitely alternating between Biddy Buggy and Scooty is definitely an interesting strat. I do it myself too sometimes. There are a lot of tracks where sometimes it's a little bit easier to hit certain shortcuts using Scooty over Biddy Buggy just because of the different hitboxes, despite having the exact same stats. And that might be what we're seeing here from Prism. And as we go into Donkey Kong Mountain for our 5th race here, this is definitely gonna be an interesting race. I don't believe there are any inward drifting players here on either team, which is definitely interesting considering this is a very anti-inward track. Or actually, I believe we are seeing one inward player.
The Dry Bones player, Rio, is on inward. It's on the Comet Bike.
Yes, this is going to be a little tough for NC State here with that inward player. It becomes a lot more difficult to hit some of the really crucial shortcuts here on DKM. You see those bananas go back right after the cannon glider, which is definitely a very easy way to get some easy hits here and kind of take out your opponents. Here we go, Prism. Going for the rock cut, managing to hit it perfectly, making their way all the way up into the top here, getting hit by the bomb.
What a nice bomb.
Goodness.
Nice bomb by Zay. Great back, great spot, hit multiple players, and kind of hard to avoid because you're not going to see it that far up to the left.
Yeah, that was a perfect placement by Zay on that bomb there. Because that is just, it's so hard to react to that bomb in the moment, and you're almost definitely going to get hit by it. Barely dodging the boomerang, oh my goodness. And with that now, Prism has smuggled 4 shrooms up into 2nd. Getting hit by the star, unfortunately.
Jay lost his triple reds to that boomerang. Unfortunate because of how wide they had went and how careful they were driving to not hit out their teammates that were there. But Morgan State now commands the top 3 positions, and it's Ronan, Mega, and Zay up here. Prism has no coins. They do have a star, though. Oh, and they're getting a low battery warning.
Oh, boy.
Hopefully their controller doesn't die mid-race. I've had that happen before.
Oh, no. This is why I use wired controllers. I never have to deal with that. But as we go
and Morgan State's holding blue in 5th. Zay's just going to be able to run freely here. Yeah.
Oh, my
Ghost is
God.
holding on to it.
Taking a little bit of a rough gap cut here from Prism, but making the most of it here, able to grab a couple coins, which is going to be a huge here. Also, having that star in 4th place is kind of ridiculous here, especially with the golden behind it. They're almost guaranteed a really good spot here if they're able to dodge shock, which I believe we are going to see here. With this broken set, I imagine we're going to see it maybe right before, right after this next item set coming up.
Nitro's holding a star. It looks like Prism checking that backhand constantly to activate their star at the same time. Maybe avoid a shock by doing so. Very smart awareness there by Prism to do so. Unfortunate line fails, though, as it looks like Morgan State's cutting ahead. The blue shell has been thrown, but it looks like Zay is going to cut into a clear 1st place as Mega and Nitro get into 2-3, but Mega gets hit out there.
Doesn't seem to have been...
Still be fine, but the bills are coming up. Those are NC State bills. They might have just gained some spots off that.
Yeah, that was huge for NC State here, getting 4 through, I believe, 8. Yeah, 4 through 8, and I think an 11 there. That is definitely a huge race for NC State. I think they're going to extend their lead a little bit off that.
Great salvage. That should be a win for Morgan State because it's top 3. Top 3 is always a guaranteed win or a guaranteed gain. 8-point gain for Morgan State, but that could have been way worse for NC State. They had a great salvage there with those bills, which you see that a lot on DKM. If you don't get a shock after everyone's passed the last set, you gotta expect a lot of bullet bills to come out, man. And I don't know what happened there with Mega and Nitro. I think Mega might have accidentally gotten hit by the blue because I think Nitro wasn't star, but I don't think Nitro hit him. So just an unfortunate miscommunication there, but Morgan's still able to get that top 3, able to cut the lead down even more as we approach race 6, the halfway point.
Yeah, getting into this halfway point, this is where I think these wars start to get a little bit scary, especially when you have such a close scoreline here, because it's very easy in the back half. Players might start to get a little tired, their hands might start to hurt a little bit. It becomes a little bit more difficult to play, in my opinion, and it could be very easy for either team to run away with this. Even though it is only a 4-point difference right now, that doesn't mean a whole lot, especially when there's still another 6 races to go after this.
6 races and some change with games 2 and potentially game 3. This has been very close so far. This is definitely mirroring that 6 point difference in the regular season that when they played against each other. This is incredible so far. As we cut back to Prism's point of view, it looks like Nitro Stream having a bit of technical difficulties. Everyone's drafting off each other. Everyone's bumping off. Prism, unfortunately, gets bumped off there into the side. Misses the item set. Sitting dryly with just 2 coins in 9th and no items is story of the game so far. Zay is pulling away in first, but NC State close behind.
Yeah, this is far from a very decisive race so far. We are still only in lap 1 though. We do see Prism go for the super bounce here. Managed to perfectly take a really good line here. It's definitely going to help them gain some ground, especially when you have people like Zay just running away with this. Zay having an incredible breakaway here. Looking at the map, looks like nearly a 2 to 3 second lead, which is insane to have, especially here on Music Park. We are seeing a lot of NCSU in the front. Oh, Prism getting hit by that blue shell here. Being quite unfortunate, being passed by a lot of MSU, which is going to be really rough here for NC State. Pulling that triple red, though, is going to be huge, because they're going to be able to hit out some of these MSU players.
They have Asher and Ghostly right in front of them with no defense.
Yeah. Although having those triple shrooms now is also going to be pretty good, as they're going to be able to take that cut after the super bounce pretty easily here, and still have a couple shrooms left to maybe do something with. They also pull the plant, which is going to be huge to clear out.
Ghost has the red shell right behind them. They cut in front, but Jay gets right in between. Is going to be able to defend against that red shell. Really great team play right there by NC State.
Yeah, definitely a great team play here. Jay being able to take the hit for Prism, who can't defend themselves against the red shell, is huge, especially if Jay has some sort of item that can block that red shell, like a banana or another shell, or even just hitting that Mr. President get down kind of play can be huge here, because Prism's going to gain a lot of points here for this 4th place finish if they're able to hold it.
Yeah, but it's just an unfortunate item pull right at the end to not get any attack items, really. They're getting really close to Nitro, but Morgan State's holding down this top 3. Prism's just playing it safe. That's going to be another Morgan State gain, because that's a top 3. That's a top 3-5, I think.
Oh my goodness. Definitely a very dominant race here from Morgan State here. Getting that top 3, 6, 10, 11 is huge for Morgan State here. They're going to flip this score lead over in their favor, and they're going to start to run away with that lead here.
Yeah, that's a 12-point lead now for Morgan State, a gain of 16 as we are now halfway through game 1. Now, if there's anything about Morgan State playoffs across all their seasons of CKL, there's 2 guarantees. Every game's going to be incredibly close, and Zay's going to be putting on incredible performances. And right now, halfway through game 1, it's a 12-point lead for Morgan State, and Zay's first place overall. This has been incredible to watch so far.
Yeah, this has been an insane match to watch so far. We're only in game 1 of possibly 3 games. And we are seeing Big Blue and Neo Bowser City here getting voted on by each team. NCSU picking Big Blue. Definitely an interesting pick here. I do like it. I think Big Blue is probably one of the most fun tracks in the game, personally. And I'd really love to see it get played. But we are going to go to Neo Bowser City.
Yeah. The Big Blue is a good race to have, though, in pocket. My teammate, FIU Green, he likes to call it, you need a big race, you go to Big Blue. Big race, Big Blue. He uses that alliteration, and sometimes it works and we get big races, sometimes the other team gets big races. But right now we're going to be going to Neo Bowser City, a very strong front-running course, and I think Zay especially is going to be able to just run away unless Prism can pull like a red shell right here to hit them out, which it looks like they have a red shell. And there goes Zay out of first.
Goodbye, Zay. Now we do see MSU Nitro, though, still managing to hold on to second here, which is going to be pretty good for Morgan State, although NCSU starting to make a lot of presence here in the front. Having that 1-2-4 off rip is going to be pretty big. NCSU also continuing to gain spots on MSU here, looking like they're going to have 4 of the top 6, which is a really good spot to be in here for NC State, looking to take back that score lead that they had and had taken away from them by Morgan State. You see a great green snipe here from Nitro going into race 2. A bomb.
What a bomb, too, but the bomb gets Jay. Oh, but no. Fortunate controlling the cart on Neo Bowser so hard with the slippery rain. NC State did a great job pulling that red, getting out Zay, and then just holding down that top 2. Zay's already back into 3rd, though. If NC State could kind of hold that top 2, maybe get some nice spots after 3 or 4, this could be a big race. Shock comes out, only an NC State dodge, though. The shot looks really neutral at a glance, and Nitro
Yeah.
misses the set.
Still having that golden though, being able to take their way through that cut is going to be pretty big here. And oh no, falling off the track. Unfortunate.
Fall off Nitro. NC State's in great positions though. They're top 2, 4, 5. Prism slows down, trying to slow horn Zay for the team play, but Zay, with all his experience, is able to dodge it, get into second place. And now Morgan could have a reversal of fortune here. They're 2, 4, but oh, their fourth place gets hit out. Zay's gonna hold on. They pull a red shell. Prism's gonna take the cut, and they're gonna trail their own red shell to get the cut. But that's 2 reds
my
from
God.
Zay, and Prism goes off the track. They still get the third though, but now that's a 2-4 for Morgan.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where this pack ends up being. We do see a pretty mixed pack as well. NCSU getting bottom 2, but also getting, I believe that was 5-6. It's going to be a very interesting race to see who really gains out of this. I believe it's going to be Morgan State, but if they do gain, it's not going to be by much.
Not by much, and it could be again a flip the other way too. That was a very if you're Prism there, you have to go for that cut 10 out of 10 times. There's no way you can't. It's just unfortunate that Zay had those 2 red shells to counteract. Thankfully they didn't lose any spots. Yeah, that's a +4 for NC State. Very small gain. I think maybe, it didn't end up mattering too much since there was a lot of distance from that top 3 from the rest of the pack, but potentially to just not go for the fancy glider, just go straight off so you could get to the track faster, because they did get Lockitude. And we see Boulake coming out for NC State, and Amsterdam Drift from Morgan, another staple.
Yeah, these are definitely some interesting track picks, and I will say I'm a big fan of seeing Boulake here. I think it's a really strong track pick here for NC State, but we do see Morgan State's pick here getting chosen by the roulette wheel. We are going to Amsterdam Drift, and it's going to be a very interesting race to see. I'm definitely interested to see how both these teams play this, because I feel like this is another one of those tracks where there's really no wrong answer for how to play it.
Race number 8. This is flying by, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, this has been a really, really fast war so far. We are 45 minutes, or about, I think, 30 minutes in, excuse me. And, we are seeing, though, this is incredibly close, kind of mirroring what we saw during the regular season with, the war that these two teams played against each other being so ridiculously close. Be definitely interesting to see what happens here in this game 1. We are in race 8. We are starting to hit that back half, or that back quarter of this first game, which is going to be very interesting. So we do see Prism getting hit out and being, stuck in 11th here early on, which is definitely a little rough, but that's going to give them access to a lot of really strong items. And on the other side, we do see Nitro here in 3rd with Zay in 1st, kind of the story we've been seeing all war, but Rio here in 2nd, looking to try to hit out Zay, which is going to be very interesting to see how that plays out for NC State here, as we do see them also start to pass Nitro here, start to get some really good spots going. Nitro taking the top path, which is not favored, I believe. Prism here making their way up into these top spots as well. Nitro, though, holding on to that mid spot, trying to bomb Prism.
Oh my goodness, what a drop.
Hitting, I'm not sure if that hit a lot of NC State, but I believe it did, so that's going to give Morgan State a huge advantage here. We do see Prism. Oh, sorry.
That bomb definitely killed some people. But NCSU still holding on to this top 2. Great play, though, by Nitro to kind of just back the rest of the team off. This actually, it looks like Pios might also be up here for NC State. Never mind, but a blue shell is thrown.
This blue shell's going to be scary. I mean, also having that blooper, it's going to be a little bit hard to kind of see where it is, kind of dodge it. We do see Prism take over first in front of Rio after getting hit by that blue shell.
That's top 3 for NC State, though, right there.
Oh my God,
Pios
that is
and Rio
huge.
right behind Prism.
This is a huge race for NC State here. Getting that top 3 is going to be massive here, just to try to bring that score gap a little bit closer in favor of NC State here as we go into the final Grand Prix. And as this race finishes up, we'll have to see the standings. We see a top 3 from NC State getting 6, 10, 11.
10, 11. That's another gain.
I believe that's going to be around +6 here, I think, for NC State. Somewhere in that range. It's not. Oh, it's a plus. What is that? +16 for NC State. That is a huge race for them, putting them back in the lead as we go into this final Grand Prix. But that score lead is still only 8 points. That's still not a whole lot.
Yeah, that's single digits. That's incredibly close. Oh,
this is still anybody's game.
Yeah, no. I think that bomb looking back, that bomb by Nitro might have actually hit his teammates. Thankfully, since we are on YouTube, we could rewind the broadcast and take a look. And as I do so, from the quick glance that Prism had in that mirror, it looks like that bomb might have accidentally hit out 2 Morgan State players. So that might have been just a bad error by Nitro going for that aggressive play. I like the aggressive play, but that reversal might have just swung the match. Though we still have 4 races to play it out, and we are going to Morgan's track pick of Daisy Circuit.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting track. I feel like this track doesn't really get played enough in competitive. I feel like it's a really strong track if your team knows how to play it, and it's also probably one of the most visually interesting tracks of the Booster Course Pass. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how these teams play on this track. There's a lot of interesting tech here on this track, especially with that shortcut that can be taken shroomless if someone breaks the wood standee for you.
Yep. Prism going for these slight snaking lines early. Getting the purple UMT, not going to break the little sign there for the cut. Zay cuts up into first. Prism with a red shell and a shroom. It'll be very interesting to see how this interaction plays out. Goes for the red. Zay has no item. It's me and Pios right there. 2-3-4. They're 2-3-4 overall. Prism outlined Zay and has 2 shrooms and 1 now.
Yeah, this is a great spot for Prism to be in. Even if they're in second, if that blue shell gets thrown and Zay backs off, this is still going to be a very favorable spot for Prism, because this not only lets them take the shortcut, which is going to put them ahead of Zay, Zay opting to use their green shell to take the cut.
Zay kind of went for a played chicken play there, I'd say. Trying to time it so that either he could break the sign with the green shell, or maybe even trail out Prism there. And it gets the hit there on Prism with that banana, forcing Prism to use their shroom. And now all of a sudden, Zay is gone and 1. Oh, but 2 reds from Prism.
Oh, this could be huge. It depends on if Zay has 2 red shell events. And oh my goodness, the red breaks on the curb. Oh no.
Blue shell is thrown though.
That is huge. With Prism playing the green shell.
Zay should have just enough distance though, so where it doesn't completely cause everyone to pass him. Yep, he's still in first place, and Nitro suddenly in second place off of that cut and star. And he's got 2 defense items here to play for Zay with 9 coins. They could definitely break away here and secure the top 2. He gets a back, it looks like, on an NC State player. And he pulls a bomb in second. This could be huge, dropping it on the sidewalk. That bomb's gonna hit an NC State player. That's top 2 for Morgan. 3, maybe 4 for NC State.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it does look like NC State is gonna be getting a lot of this mid pack, and they are getting 3
never
through
mind.
5.
3, 4, 5. That cancels out the top 2, but that 6, 7 from Morgan should be. I want to say that should be enough to just get them a slight victory, maybe a +2. Yeah, a +4. +4. Wow. And with 3 races left, it's a 4-point game. This is incredible.
Yeah, this has
been I'm sorry, go ahead, Ami.
I was gonna say, this has been a really close game this entire time. This is an insane game. Just seeing these 2 teams play, it's gonna be very interesting to see how these last 3 races of game 1 plays out. And I do want to mention here, the amount of tracks that these teams can pick is starting to dwindle. You know, we're gonna be going through 12 tracks in this game 1, and this is gonna mean a lot going into game 2 and game 3, because like we mentioned earlier, they can't repick them, so they need to pick very wisely here. You know, in the last 3 races here, do they want to try to go for their flagship tracks and try to take game 1, you know, right here, right now, or do they want to maybe save them for later on for game 2 to get a strong lead or something?
Yeah, and we're gonna be going to Bangkok Rush here in race 10. For those that are not watching our Twitch simulcast of D2 finals between ASU and Tennessee, currently they just started the last GP race 9. And ASU is up by 34 points. So another close game over there on their end.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like we are just having 2 really good games going on right now in finals here for CKL. And as we start this Bangkok Rush, we are seeing MSU hold on to a lot of top spots here, but NCCU is also making their way into these early leads, which is going to be huge, I think, for NC State here on Bangkok. As as we go into this first item set here, it's going to be definitely very interesting to see what these teams pull. We see Nitro choosing to burn their shroom instantly and getting punished for it, getting redded out by Pios.
Definitely might have been a little error there by Nitro, maybe spamming the item button a little too much. For those that don't know, spamming the item button does let you get your items out early, but if you're not careful, you might accidentally burn it, just like what he did there. Going around the cars there, the subway car, for the 4 coins. There's a lot of bottoms for Morgan. I think Morgan's bottom 4. No, NC State has a player in last, never mind. But Prism sitting here in first place with a shroom. Very strong in case the blue comes out. And their teammates in 2, never mind, they just got hit out by Zay as I said that.
It's definitely an unfortunate hit out. But we do see here
defense for Reds.
Yeah, no defense for Reds is definitely a little rough, but having that shroom is massive. And I think if Zay is playing this smartly, they might opt to just let Prism run away with this, but instead they're going to choose to red out Prism, which not sure if that's the smartest move here, because with that shroom, you know, Prism is able to take that blue shell if it does come out. But seeing as I think
Zay might have a shroom of his own.
He might.
He used it right there.
What is happening?
He used it to try and get it back there on Prism. Unfortunately, Prism with a great line, or unfortunately for Zay, Prism had a great line to avoid it. But now we're coming down to the final few turns of the race. Zay going upstairs. Prism hanging down here, just pulls a single red. I don't think this would be enough to kill Zay. Zay's got the horn. Zay goes for the horn. What a great play by Zay. That sends Mega into second. What a great play by Zay.
My goodness, what an insane play from Zay, using that horn not only to defend themselves against that red, but also take out Prism. Getting that top 2 for MSU is huge, but NC State also getting that 3 through 5.
3, 4, 5 again, and I think this time they have the spots to gain this time. It might be a tie, but this should be close. No, it's a +2. It's a +2. Oh my goodness. 409 to 411 with 2 races left. This is as close as you can get. You know, selfishly, I'd like to see a tie. For race 11 be a tie or a +2 for Morgan, so we can go into race 12 completely tied up. Because this is this is the definition of neck and neck.
This is an insane match so far. This has been so back and forth with neither team really getting an advantage over the other. This is looking to be a very solid set here tonight. And as we go into race 11 here, we are seeing either Waluigi Stadium or SNES Rainbow Road, and we are seeing SNESPO. Definitely an interesting track here. It's a great runner here, so I believe this was Morgan State's pick.
Yes, it was. Morgan State learned this track last spring. And here it comes a whole year later, coming out in finals for them. You know, if they could get a big race here, this could be huge.
Yeah, this is definitely, I think, the do or die race here in this game 1 for both teams, especially MSU having that first year with Zay, but Prism looking to getting redded. I believe they were about to use their shroom as well to overtake Zay, but now it's gonna be very interesting. Taking that single shell or a single box, not being able to take the cut. A little bit unfortunate here, having a shroom in 7th, but they also don't have a lot of coins, which is going to be a little tough for them because this is definitely a hard track to get coins on. It's definitely going to be interesting. Taking the cut here in the middle, having a red shell here with Mega MZ right in front of them, maybe looking to red them out as Mega MZ just uses their horn, managing to hit them out, take over 4th. Now they got to play a little bit of defense here, especially with Rio right in front of them. Pulling the shroom in 4th is going to be very interesting. Using the shroom here, opting to burn it, maybe to try to keep their distance from 5th here. You know, give them some time. Go for the double. Missing the double, unfortunately, but getting those triple streams is going to be huge. Because not only do they have defense from 5th now, and oh my goodness, that bomb hitting out everyone.
What a bomb. He dumps his triple reds to not hit out his teammate, but they got bombed out. He could have had a clear shot on Zay with those triple reds.
Juicy Blue Shell going for Zay, though. So this is going to close that gap between 1st and 2nd. Zay getting hit.
It will. They should be able to pull. They pulled triple shrooms that close? That's insane. But the shot comes out, and they lose the 2 shrooms, but their teammates can hit the ground shrooms. No, Nitro dodges, though. Nitro's in 1st.
Oh my god. Prism still in 3rd here with the retro, maybe able to take out Zay, but passing Zay, now giving them a shot to take out Nitro. Especially going into these final turns, this is going to be huge for NC State if they're able to take out Nitro. Having those double streams with shells, but I believe it's too far.
Nitro's too far. Oh, Prism line fails. Zay passes them. Zay hits them with the triple greens. They'll still hold on to 3, But oh, what an unfortunate series of events there for Prism. But what a great shock by Morgan. 1, 2, 5, 6, 10, 12. That should definitely give them the lead as we go into race 12.
What an
Oh
insane race. Oh
man.
my goodness.
Yeah, that's a plus 10, I believe. And now Morgan State up 8 as we go into race 12. That's not a strong lead by any sort. But man, that's gotta be good. That's gotta feel good if you're Morgan right now. You have the momentum heading into the final race. Morgan
Yeah, going
State.
into the final race, having just that 8-point lead, it means a lot to have that lead going into the final race, because that is huge for Morgan State, because they're able to have a little bit of buffer, but only 8 points is so little that it's still very much any team's game. We do see NC State picking Madrid here over, and then Hyrule from Morgan State. There's definitely some great tracks to end this game one. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens, and it looks like we are going to Hyrule.
We're going to
Morgan finish off
State's
this
track.
game one.
In both of Morgan State's previous playoff matches, both of them went to a game 3, with Morgan State winning the first game, mostly closely. Let's see if third time, if they can keep it up for 3 times in a row.
Definitely going to be interesting to see what happens in this final race. We do see Prism, maybe looking to maybe just take some spots here from MSU. MSU's staying in first, which has kind of been the story. And Prism getting hit out. Oh my goodness. Going into this glider section, we are seeing, I believe, a lot of NC State in the back, but we are seeing a lot of MSU as well. It's definitely a very mixed pack. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here going into this set. We do see Prism hit the double, get 4 shrooms, which honestly on this track, I don't hate it. This is a track where I feel like shrooms can really shine, especially with this cut. Definitely with the Nisk, it's very easy to take it shroomless, but having that shroom just makes it so much easier, so much more consistent. And as they take this cut, we do see them gain a lot of spots. We're seeing a lot of people get hit out. I believe Jay got hit out there. As we go into lap 2, we're seeing these red shells being thrown, hitting out, I believe, NC State.
Yeah, this is momentously close, but NC State has a lot of tops. If NC State gets only a +8 here, we could see a game 1 overtime. This might be the closest we've ever gotten to a game 1 overtime, too.
Definitely. And as we go into the end of the middle of lap 2, we are seeing a great lead here from NC State. We are seeing, I believe, 2-3, maybe 2-3-5 from NC State here, which is definitely going to be huge for this team. We do see Prism hit the Nisk.
That's 2-3-4 for NC State. That's 2-3-4. That's 2-3-4-5 for NC State. That's definitely a winning race right now if they hold these spots.
Yeah, and Prism using the shroom here, having the bomb in hand, they could do some serious damage with this bomb if MSU starts to get too close.
Nitro pulls a bullet bill in last place though. He's getting back up here.
Oh, this could be huge, especially if there's a shock in play. There were 2 people in dodges right now. Unfortunately, no shock coming out. Having that bomb in third is massive here for NC State. To use the bomb here on the stairs. Believe hitting out someone, going strong, having that shroom going for the Nisk.
Oh my god, this lower pack is so tight, I don't know. Zay's gonna clutch first. Prism and Rio are gonna get 2-3. It looks like Blue Shell's out. I don't think it's gonna hit in time though. No, it locks on to Rio. It might have hit him at the I think Rio got second.
Rio did get hit, did lose a couple spots, but I believe they were mostly taken over by NC State. Would you see NC State 2-3-4?
This might be a tie. This might be a tie race. Oh my god. I don't know. Holy crap.
And it's a +6.
It's only a plus. It's a +2 for NC State. Morgan State's gonna win the first game by 6 points, and Zay scores 153. Prism though, incredible 115. Wow, that was a nail biter. Oh my goodness. That's only game 1.
That's true. We still have 1, possibly 2 more games to play here in this best of 3. But what an amazing game 1. I mean, this was so back and forth the whole time. We really couldn't tell which team was going to come out on top in this first game. But we also do want to mention here, in the regular season, NC State beat Morgan State by 6 points. And now we're seeing a reversal of that in game 1, which is really exciting to see here. Really showing how strong both of these teams are.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that it was just a 6-point difference. And Morgan State swung it in their favor. The teacher is up on the student 1-0. Will NC State be able to win game 2 and send it to a game 3 winner take all? Or can Morgan State hold on, get game 2, and claim their first ever coveted 6v6 championship? We will find out when we come back from this break. We are back with more Collegiate Karting League Division 4 finals between Morgan State University and NC State University. For those just tuning in, we had a crazy game one where no team had a bigger lead than 24 points throughout. And in the end of such an intense war, Morgan State had pulled out the 6-point victory. Ami, how are you feeling going into this game two?
I'm really excited. I mean, we saw such an insane game one, and I can only imagine what we're going to see in game two. I mean, in that game one, we just saw some amazing plays from both teams. We saw some great driving, some great team play, some great item play. We just saw really well-played Mario Kart, and I'm really excited to see what we see in game two. Especially with Morgan State having that 1-0 lead so far, I think the mental is going to be really important going into this game too, and I'm interested to see how that affects how both teams play.
Yeah, it is interesting to note, and not to jinx it, but just to bring up history. Across Morgan State's 2 previous playoff sets, they had always won game 1, which they did here. And in game 2, they've always had a lead for most of game 2. But by the final GP, the other team has stormed back furiously to take it. And then game 3 has gone either direction. Morgan State lost 1, Morgan State won 1. So, if you're a Morgan fan, you're really hoping right now that history doesn't repeat itself. Because I think, given enough time for NC State to just get those games in and start clicking, that depth will just shine. Because their 6 is really strong. And, Zay and Nitro, credit to them, they both broke 100 points. They both broke into the triple digits. But you gotta wonder, especially if it's a two-man show, will they run out of steam? With that said, Mega MZ from Morgan State did have a great performance as well, stepping up at the right place at the right time. I'm excited to see what adjustments both teams have made, and I'm ready to see if NC State can swing back.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how this game 2 goes. I mean, NC State has such a wide range of depth on their team. They've got a lot of really strong mid-pack players that I think can really take this away from Morgan State. Having those star players is super important, but you also need to have that depth, that, ability to get those mid spots. And while Morgan State has those star players, we've also seen a lot of their players have, a lot of that mid spot presence that we were kind of expecting NC State to have, which I think definitely ultimately helped them take that 6-point victory in the end. But we'll have to see how this game 2 goes, because it's also worth mentioning, I know we've said this a few times during this stream, but in game 2, they can't pick any of the tracks we saw in game 1. So there's a lot of tracks that I think were really good for Morgan State that we're just not going to see this game. And I think that's going to be really important here for both teams.
Yeah, well said. Very well put. And we are going right away into it. Game 2. In 12 races, Morgan State could be the Division 4 champion. But in 12 races, NC State could also send this into a game 3. Winner take all. Oh my goodness, I am so excited.
As am I. This is definitely going to be an interesting game, and we are going to see Morgan State hosting, so I believe they're going to have top 6 here, and it's going to be interesting to see what they pick for their running track here. It seems like there's a lot of deliberation happening. Ultimately, they're choosing Mount Wario for their first track pick here, and we do see Morgan State picking Madrid, or not Morgan State, NC State, picking Madrid for their first track picks. Definitely interesting track picks here. I think they make a lot of sense too.
Despite being host advantage, Morgan's only top 3, 8, and then 11, 12 in the room, I believe. So
yeah,
we'll see. Right. We're going Madrid. I know that Morgan's tops are really strong on this track, but you gotta hope that their other half has been practicing it as well, because this is a pretty big NC State track from what I remember.
Yeah, this is definitely a track where if you've practiced this extensively, it can be very easy to do very well on this track. Especially if you have a team that's, mostly familiar with the track. Having just that extra knowledge on this track, I feel like, especially on this track, it can do a lot for your team. And as we start this race off, we are seeing Nitro here, kind of in the mid-pack, kind of fighting the way up to the front, able to get this coin. That's going to be big here, because they're now on 5 coins right out of the gate, which is huge, especially on Madrid. Being able to have that extra speed, outspeed some of their opponents. We do see an NC State player behind them. I couldn't catch the name, unfortunately. Having a red short behind them, opting not to throw it, definitely interesting We do see them also get up into the 4th place spot here. Nitro taking just very clean, very safe lines here. Just trying to just get their items, get their way up into this front spot, which is definitely interesting. We do see a lot of NC State here in the front, but we also do still see Zay holding on to first. Nitro in third with Rio from NC State in second. It's definitely going to be a great just start for Morgan State here.
Zay in first as it feels like it always has been. But Rio's got this red shell. Nitro's not going to be able to hit it out with his boomerang. So Rio's going to be forcing him to go wide here. You know, respect the space and holding on to it, I guess. Because, you know, Zay could get... Zay's in first, but holding on to this red shell is going to make them hold second place, at least for the time being, because Nitro has this shroom. He's going to have triple bananas after, so he should be able to take that red shell no problem. Yep, and now all of a sudden Morgan is 1-2-4. Oh, but a great snipe from Rio all of a sudden. Wow.
And getting horned. Oh my
goodness. He got horned out by his own teammate unintentionally. But now all of a sudden Nitro from 2nd to 11th place.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that I feel like happens a lot in Mario Kart. Pulling the blue shell, though, this is huge for Morgan State, because this essentially means that Zay is able to run away with this first place lead here. Because now Nitro can just hold on to this blue shell. Yes, it messes with their ability to use items, but it's not a big deal in the grand
blue is thrown. Blue is thrown, though. Yeah, I guess Zay might have a horn or something to break it. Yep, he does indeed. Break it. Right, Prism ended up firing himself out there, but he's able to still maintain a spot. I think this is going to be a 2-3-5 for NC State. Yes. 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 11 for Morgan. This should be a Morgan gain.
Yeah, definitely great spots for both teams here. Getting that, what was it, a 2-3-5 from NC State is huge, but unfortunately having a lot of those bottom spots makes this really tough, and unfortunately they are going to be taking the slight L on that first race here, being -6 in to Morgan State. Morgan State having that 6-point lead going into race 2. Again, not a huge lead here, but that is also the exact point difference that Morgan State won game 1 by. So if they're able to hold on to this, it can be massive.
Bowser's Castle 3 coming out for NC State and Boo Lake coming out for Morgan. What's interesting is I believe in the previous match, NC State had been picking Boo Lake on their own. So, not that it will matter, because we'll be going to Bowser's Castle 3 instead. One of the last courses from the Booster Course Pass. And it will be very interesting to see how this plays out in these spots. 2-3-5 is kind of a bit of a funky spot. You know, you're not exactly in anti-1 position, because there is that 4th place, but you're also not really in runner positions either.
Yeah, it's definitely an awkward position to have going into your track picks. There's not really a lot of great tracks for a 2-3-5.
Bump out there.
Yeah, the unfortunate bump sending Prism into the lava. But this also means being in last. They're going to have some great item pulls here, which may help them out a lot. And now we do go back to Nitro's point of view. Having 8 coins in first right out of the gate is massive here for MSU. They're going to be able to hold on to this top 2 as we do see Zay trailing right behind them. Nitro holding onto this coin, definitely the smart move here, as they'll be able to get some sort of red shell defense in the next set as long as they hold onto this coin. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what they pull, because there is the chance for a bomb and a super horn, which it's very unlikely, but it could happen. We do see them pull a banana, which is going to be very useful here, especially if Zay somehow gets hit out. But we do see an MSU top 2 here. Oh, falling into the lava, trying to avoid. Oh no, we do see Zay hold on to first though. For
drift. Yeah, no, that's still another Morgan player takes up the mantle of 2nd place, but they get hit out by Rio. It looks like as the mid pack suddenly becomes really close. Prism pulls triple greens on Nitro, hits him out. It hits out Mega MZ as well. As Aster backed an NC State player right there. We see Rio in 3-4, Aster and Zay in top 2 for Morgan. But right now it looks like 3, 4, 5, 6 belong to NC State, especially as Prism pulls these triple greens. But a fire comes out and hits out Rio.
Yeah, definitely not great for Rio.
Oh, but the fire hits out the lava hits out Aster there. And now red shell coming out, blue shell as well. Prism's shrooms getting ghosted right before the cut, and there's a shock out. And green dodges, Greensicle dodges, and another NC State player dodges there in 5th. Oh, but there goes Mega. Yeah, there's Jay with the star. Hits out Nitro. right as Prism gets the mini turbo out. Oh my goodness, what a finish! It looks like NC State stole one even.
Oh my goodness, what an
Yes, they did.
ending for
Greensicle
Thousand
stole one,
Castle.
145. They do get
That
last,
is
but that should be a gain. That should be a gain for NC State there, I believe.
that is a phenomenal ending
Yep.
here for NC State. They are definitely bringing down that score gap. This was a slight loss here from Oregon State. They're still in the lead by 2 points, but 2 points is nothing in Mario Kart. That is one placement. So this is still very much neck and neck. And we are seeing the Shroom Ridge pick here from NC State, which makes that's kind of an interesting pick here. I mean, they had a lot of top spots. I'm kind of surprised they would pick Shroom Ridge here.
I know it's a track they're really comfortable with, and sometimes, especially in these in the lower CKL divisions, the conventional spots you'd like to pick a track for don't really apply as much as how comfortable you are in said position. This should be a track that NC State is pretty comfortable in.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I think we've kind of neglected to talk about here is the comfort on some of these tracks. I mean, definitely Shroom Ridge having it's that usually a 1-0 track, but as we see this 1-4-5, definitely if they have, overwhelming comfort on Shroom Ridge, this could be a very good track for them. And as we start off, we do see NC State hold on to first right out of the gate, and we are seeing Prism, unfortunately, I think, get bumped around a little bit, fall down into 10th. They do get a box, pulling a Shroom, unfortunately getting trailed out by the triple greens. But they are taking really good lines here, which is going to help them kind of gain some of that lost distance here. Getting back up into 9th already. Having only 1 coin in the bag is a little rough, but they're going to be able to grab these 3 coins here, which is going to do a lot for them here. As they grab these 2 boxes, this is going to be a very good spot for Prism to be in. Pulling triple Shrooms with a ghost behind is very, very good here. We do see, I believe that was, I actually don't know who that was, but someone from MSU did get hit out in the tunnel. Uses fire coming out. Prism not being affected by it. Prism taking really good, solid lines here. Being able to make their way back up into some pretty good spots. Using the Shroom to get back up into 6th. Holding that Ghost is going to be huge here. Using the Ghost right behind Jay and Suit Same is going to be pretty good here. Getting all the way up into 4th is really good here for Prism. We are seeing a lot of top spots here from NC State. Zay running away with first place once again, kind of like we've been seeing throughout Game 1 and the start of Game 2 here. That bomb
my goodness,
absolutely
what a bomb.
massacring. Oh my god. We do see Prism, though, and a lot of NC State just taking up this mid-pack in these top spots, but we are starting to see MSU make their way back up into the top as well. Aster here in 5th. Going to be putting a lot of pressure on NC State to do really well this race.
Yeah. Oh, what a plant. What a plant. Aster's right there. Rio's right there. This is a top 2 4 for Morgan, it looks like. No, it's 1-3-4 now. As it looks as if Aster's trying to fire out Rio, misses, holds onto the Shroom for the ending cut instead of the glider cut. Blue Shell is thrown, but Zay's going to be able to cross the line well before it hits. And it just really depends on what comes after. Oh, Prism wants into the car, but it's all Morgan State around him.
He's going to hit out
Rio's right
Nitro.
there too, though. Rio's right there too at the bottom. It's going to be 9-10. 9-10-11 for NCSU. This should be a very nice race for Morgan.
Absolutely. Morgan State looking to expand their score lead here a little bit on the Shroom Ridge. Definitely a rough race here for NC State. Losing their track pick. That's not great. It is still only a 10-point difference, though. This is still anyone's game. We are still only in the first Grand Prix. So there's still a lot of time to make these points back.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're only at the end of the first GP of Game 2. And we saw last time how even when a team is able to get, consecutive winning races in a row, or when they win 1, 2, or 3, mostly it's just these small gains, these little small territorial gains. And that's definitely happening again here in Game 2. And they're taking a while pondering their track pick right now. Are we gonna see a Mary Mountain in finals?
What? Okay.
Oh my goodness, we're seeing Mary Mountain in finals.
Definitely an interesting track pick. This is definitely a track we don't see very often in competitive Mario Kart, I feel like. We do see Morgan State opting to vote for Boo Lake here. But that Mary Mountain, that's definitely an interesting track pick here from NC State.
Yeah, looks like there's a DC as well. Someone's missing from the room. Now the track pick waiting makes sense. I think NC or no, I think Morgan's missing a player. But still, and we are going to Mary Mountain. Pickley from Waterloo is smiling right now. For those who know, we enter the last race of the first GP for Game 2. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't really played this track much. I can't really comment about it too much about, what spots it's good for and such. Maybe you have more track knowledge on me than me on this.
Unfortunately, I don't for Mary Mountain. I feel like this is a very unpopular track and competitive. We are seeing a lot of people take this top path, which I honestly didn't even know existed because I've only taken the basic go on the bottom line. It's definitely a very interesting track. It's got a lot of depth to it that I think a lot of people don't realize. There's a lot of really interesting cuts.
And we do have a big shroom cut coming right here through the Ghost. Prism has quadruple shrooms, should be able to take it no problem. And all of a sudden, they're in 6th place from 11th. 4th place, as it looks as if, I want to say that's Greensicle holding down first, with Rio right behind and Aster right there for Morgan State.
Yeah, and a slight line fail here from Prism, unfortunately going into the off-road. Going to lose them a couple spots here. I do also want to mention, only having 4 coins here going into lap 2 is a little tough, as a lot of these players are going to start to build up a lot of coins.
Trailing a banana is dangerous right there, and a Morgan player accidentally backs Zay. But Prism, the gamble getting rid of their shroom pays off. Now they have triple shrooms for the cut, but they're going around for the next item set. They are holding top 2. Oh my god, he pulls the triple green. What do I know?
Oh, and the triple greens get stolen. It is worth mentioning, though, they did put that banana really tight on the line instead of taking that cut, which is also a very strong play, because if their teammates know about it and MSU doesn't, it's very easy for one of MSU to just get hit out by it and lose a couple spots.
Yeah, this is a top 2-4 right now for NCSU. See a bomb coming out, red shell. Prism is getting redded. Uses their shroom immediately. He's going to be able to hit the double, but another red shell. But they pull 4 triple shrooms. What is going on? Oh my god, he's planting through the snow and he bites out 2 Morgan players, but he gets shroomed. It's redded again.
My god.
Oh my goodness.
Taking the
takes the final cut. Greeticle is holding a blue shell. Prism is eating another red. But I think it's... Oh my god, his teammate just got redded at the line. I think they just lost top 2. I think it might be 1-3.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
What a chaotic ending to this Mary Mountain. And we are going to see a 1-3, 6,
yeah,
7, 8.
Mega Reds out Rio right there at the end. Crazy. What a crazy lap 3 that was. Oh my goodness.
That was ridiculous. That was so chaotic. It's hard to put into words what we just saw happen. That was just insane. And we are to an even scoreline here. Both teams at 164 points. This is such a close game here. Going after the first Grand Prix being even is really just insane to see here.
I think it just shows how fierce these two teams are. They know each other so well, and they're just keeping it so close. They're not giving up. And I think you could tell, especially in that gameplay. I mean, that plant there through the snow by Prism to just chomp out like Zay and another Morgan player was just crazy. That was crazy. Ribbon Road and Bone Dry Dunes now for each team. More interesting picks. BDD's a pretty popular track for comp, but Morgan State is running just 5 players again. I don't know if their 6 is unable to get into the room. This could be very helpful for NC State if they could capitalize, because yeah, I mean having a bot in there instead of a human is just really difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. That bot adds a lot of variance into these races, especially if they're able to manage to pull like shock or some ridiculous item that can just completely disrupt the match or the race. It can do a lot of damage to both teams. And I believe we are getting word that Nitro, unfortunately having connection issues, both their stream went down and they're not in this lobby. So I believe it's going to be very rough for Morgan State here.
That could be rough. That's losing your second option in the NBA Finals right there, almost. And NC State got their track pick, and Prism is just running away in first here. Zay and company, of course, close behind, but Prism's just getting these coins, taking these really good lines, getting the good cuts. They should have a clean run in one for a while, especially, yeah, Morgan State just got hit out of second. That's top 2 for NC State.
Yeah, and we do see this Donkey Kong really far behind in the space here, having the bullet trying to make some space back. What I believe I think they were at shock distance at the set before the glider. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with with a shock here, because that bot could shock, and that could do so many things for both teams. So definitely be interesting to see what happens there. We see Prism just driving this track really well. You can tell Prism is really comfortable on this track. They've definitely spent some time trialing this track.
Yep, clean run right now.
Yeah, incredibly clean. Going through this, we do see a top 2 from NC State here. We did see a bomb drop on the minimap. Unsure whether or not it took anyone out, but we do see that top 2, I believe a top 2-5 from NC State here. That Donkey Kong being a bit of a wild card here, especially with it taking out Nitro from Morgan State. This is definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. We are seeing some dodges start to come out. Lap 3, we might be seeing a shockless ribbon road with a bot, which is honestly quite interesting to see.
Quite
As we
crazy.
go into the final moments here, we do see that top 2. We do see Blue Shell come out, but I believe it is going to be too little too late. Prism able to cross the finish line well before. What is that Blue Shell doing? Okay.
That Blue Shell's taking a trip around. And the bot's not even going to get last here, I don't think. No.
Bot getting 10.
Oh, Ronan and Ghostly
MSU.
hitting 11 and 12. That's a bottom 3 for Morgan State, unfortunately. But NC State doing exactly what they're supposed to, capitalizing off of the capitalizing off of Nitro not being able to be in room, and now that's a 20-point lead
Yeah, and that's
for
the biggest
NC State.
Yeah, and that's the
Hopefully-
biggest lead we've seen so far in this game too. And having that just off the disconnection of Nitro is really rough here for Morgan State.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Nitro can get back into the room here. Get Morgan their six men in, or get not their 6th man, he's their 2nd man, but get all 6 players in. And you know, if the worst comes to pass and he's not able to get a room, at least to get the sub in there, potentially. I do really like this from NC State though, at least. Yeah, look at that. Nitro is back in the room.
Let's go.
Nitro is back. The bleeding has stopped for Morgan State, hopefully. But I really like that sportsmanship there from Prism, just kind of holding on to the track pick. You know, making sure the opponent could get into the room. You know, just give them that extra time instead of picking the track immediately and forcing the game to roll the roulette. Very nice sportsmanship there.
Yeah, and that's great to see, especially in such a high stakes match here. You know, we are in the finals. This could be, you know, the final match of CKL Division 4 for the season. So it's definitely great to see that sportsmanship, you know. Yes, NC State wants to win, but I don't think they want to win because MSU couldn't have a player connect. And that's just really great to see, honestly.
Yep, and their player is back in, so these races should be even closer than what they have been. As we see here, the first cut of Twisted Mansion sends Prism from first into the mid-pack. No item in hand, but able to get the coins and draft off people with his lines, and he cuts into 2nd place behind Zay.
Yeah, definitely some great driving here from Prism. You know, managing to go from losing a lot of spots from being unable to... Oh, and the bomb!
Oh, what a bomb! What a bomb!
Goodness,
by Zay.
oh my, that was an insane bomb from Zay here. Taking Prism from 2nd all the way down to 7th. Definitely putting NC State in a rough spot. We do see Prism also falling just kind of in this mid-pack. Managing to make a couple spots back. Taking the shroom cut, going to gain them a couple spots. The bomb again.
Another bomb!
Goodness,
But he avoids the
dodge.
bomb! He avoids the bomb. That bomb hits some other players. I think a mix of MSU and NC State. Red Shell comes out though. It's going to end Prism's little run there. Oh, and hit out again. When it rains, it pours.
Prism just getting absolutely massacred here on this lap too. And it's also worth mentioning, they've lost a lot of coins now, so this comeback is going to be even harder for them in lap 3. But they do pull the star and the crazy 8. There's a lot of great items for them to have here. Spamming them.
8. Blue Shell's out as well. I was honestly going to say, if I was in this position, I would stop for shock. But they pull that Blue Shell, and now Morgan still holding on to first, but they lost the top 2. Oh, but Prism's going to get bumped out.
Prism also unfortunately not getting the double box here. getting that trim, opting to use it here on these turns to kind of gain some space here. Pass a couple spots here, get up into 6, which is definitely a good spot for them to be in. Their teammate getting a draft off them, which is also great. Opting to go for the left single, pulling triple shrooms is really good here at the end. Especially with this grass cut, they can save a lot of time using these shrooms.
Oh, someone gets hit out there right before the cut too. Prism gets up into 4, but I think that's a top 3 for Morgan. Yep, that's a gain. Even with the bottom 2, that is a bottom 2-8. That is still going to be a gain for Morgan State.
That is a great gain for Morgan State to get here, especially off losing so many points from having that Donkey Kong. That is definitely great for Morgan State, getting them back into this game. We're only halfway through this game too, so it is still very much anyone's game. But it's definitely going to be great for Morgan State just to get those points back.
Yep. My +8 from Morgan as we now enter the halfway point of game 2. I mean, this is looking very, very similar to that game 1. It was almost by the same margin too, if I recall correctly. This is crazy.
Absolutely insane. This is still just either team's game. We can't really definitively say one team is going to run away with this because anything can happen in this match, and this has been just some incredible Mario Kart to watch so far, and it will continue to be as we go to Mount Wario here for race 7.
Mount Wario. This is a track that I know both teams like especially. And again, it's just that teacher-student dynamic, that master-student dynamic. They're so intimate on each other's tracks that it really just feels like a toss-up, no matter which one gets selected.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing some great driving here from Prism, managing to make their way up into this top spot, just trail behind Zay. Zay holding onto that banana to protect themselves. Prism choosing to throw their red shell, which makes a lot of sense when they have their teammates behind them. They don't really have to worry about getting hit out here. Zay holding on to first. Prism getting hit by the banana led by Zay.
Incredible banana drop. My goodness.
Prism hitting the rock, unfortunately falling down into last. Definitely a rough spot for Prism to be in here, but we'll have to see how they come back from this. I mean, being in 12th isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if you're able to pull some of those crazy power items like shock and stars and bullets. Those are some great power items. Like I said, they pull the star. They do have the ghost in the pocket.
The ghost, and there can't be another ghost until he uses this as well. So he could possibly take it out, but he only has 2 coins as well. There he goes, uses it. Pulls triple shrooms as he's on the cut. Burns all 3 at once. Interesting. But he does pull the golden. Holding onto it. Oh, unfortunate line fail there. Blue shell is out, though, from Pios. And Zay is in first. Morgan's holding down the top spots really strong. This could be big. Oh, and look, it's a Morgan player as well with their red shell.
Going into
Rio pops the bill, but there's another bill. Yeah, and Shroom's golden there. Oh man, this is really close in the back. It looks like Morgan State is going to hold on to first place, possibly top 2, maybe even top 3.
We will have to see going into the final moments. We are seeing a lot of NCU.
No, that's a lot of NCU here in the bottom. That's at least like scary. Bot 3 or bot 4. Oh my god, Asher's going to pass at the line. Prism's going to get last.
Oh man.
Oh, that's a top 3, 7, 8, 11. That's going to be another nice gain for Morgan. Cutting back that deficit even more. Nitro's come back with a fury. That's now a 6-point lead for Morgan State.
Yeah, definitely a great recovery here from Morgan State after losing, a pretty significant loss there on that race. Going -20 on Ribbon Road just because they didn't have Nitro, and now bringing that back, this is definitely going to go back into being a very, very close match as we are going into race A. We're almost through the second Grand Prix. We do see NCSU picking Big Blue here, and Morgan State opting for Wario Stadium. Good old R-dubs. So we'll have to see how each team plays this, see what we get. I'm really honestly hoping to see Big Blue here, as it's one of my favorite tracks personally.
Yep, and after losing those last 2 races, as I said in game 1, you need a big race, you go Big Blue. Big race, Big Blue. And NC State's really hoping for a big race right now.
Yeah, definitely. They need a big race here, I think, in order to really set themselves up for this final Grand Prix, because this has been such a close match throughout this entire 2 games. This could still go either way. And I think the first team to really have a big race here, ultimately, I think is going to have a much easier time in this final Grand Prix. Going into this, we are seeing Prism opt to take a little bit of a slower line, but get 10 coins off rip, which is going to be huge going into the rest of this track, because there's not really a lot of chances to get coins on this track. It's really just these couple coin pads at the beginning, and the rest of the coins are really difficult to get here. Not trimming through this section, taking some really good lines here, not shrooming here, but
odd shroom spot there. He could have gone a lot tighter.
Yeah, definitely.
But he has the horn. This could be really strong with Ronan and Asher right there. Oh, but they lack through the rang. I said horn, I meant rang. Ooh, this is really close. Prism gets the bump boost, has the rang now, goes for the back as Greensicle is right there behind Nitro. This is a 2-4-5 situation for NC State. Oh, Rio might have just gone back with that rang by accident.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a tough spot for NC State to be in here. But Prism opting to use a lot of their shrooms here on this section.
Oh my God, what a strong bomb! There's Itsumi in two. That's 2-3 right now. Ronan coming up though in a bill, and there's a shock. Ronan dodges with the shock.
Oh my God, what a massive dodge here from Morgan State here. Just dodging two really strong players here, and we do see Prism fall down into 8th. Unfortunately, line failing a bit, having to burn their shrooms to kind of get back into position here. Prism now in 11th. Going into last, getting his triple shrooms.
Gets the box, at least.
They definitely, and Ghost pulling a star, but
Prism they passed Jay, their teammate. Here. Yeah, but they passed their teammate. That's still, yeah. That's 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 for Morgan State. That might be the biggest race margin we've seen today. Yeah, 26. That's the biggest lead of the set so far as we enter the last GP.
What a big race here from Morgan State. Getting that lead going into the final Grand Prix means a lot. I mean, that is huge, not just, for the score race, but also for the mental game. Being down in the final GP definitely doesn't feel great. And especially here where it matters the most. This is going to be really tough for both teams. Morgan State needing to hold on to that lead, and NC State needing to claw their way back into the lead here in these last 4 races. And what we've seen so far from these two teams, that's going to be quite a difficult feat.
Yep. And if you're a Morgan State, you're definitely watching that mini map. We've mentioned it multiple times on that broadcast. This set so far has gone the way of Morgan's previous 2 playoff sets. Right? Game 1 pretty closely. Game 2 have the lead going down to the last GP. But that third step is that the other team blazes back and steals the Game 2 victory. Is third time the charm for Morgan. Will they be able to stave off the Game 2 comeback? You will see.
Yeah, and as we go into the start of Wario Stadium here, NC State taking a lot of really great lines here. And unfortunately, Prism not having an item, going to be in a bit of an awkward position here as they start to draft and gain a lot of spots in the beginning of the slap 1. Getting the single item box, not the worst, not great, but they're in an awkward spot. So they're going to pull a red, and though they are right behind 2 MSU players. So it's very easy for them to just take one of them out. But now they've just outdriven them because they're just better, I guess.
Opts to hold it and go for the lines instead. Passes them and now has a defense for his teammates. Very strong play there by Prism.
Yeah, and especially with this cut, not really gaining a lot of spots here for Morgan State. The trail's breaking! Oh my goodness.
Green shell up! What an accidental team kill.
Oh my goodness. And Prism getting fired by MSU. But NC State still holding on to that top 2 is going to be huge here on this track.
That top 2 is very strong. That's what they need right now.
And Prism just having a tough time here with the item play. Only pulling, shrooms, not really being able to defend themselves. That goes taking the single shroom, but they do have the triple shrooms in the pocket. They are able to make their way back up into 5th. This is going to be really good for NC State. We are seeing a lot of NC State in top, but it looks like MSU getting back into 2nd, but NC State having, I believe, 3 and 4. It's going to be really big for NC State here if they're able to hold on to that. Prism with the triple Dennis taking it wide so they don't hit their teammates. Definitely a great play. MSU here, a lot of them in the bottom spots here, but we are seeing them start to take back these front spots in the pack. But with Zay and Ronan here in 9 and 10, this is definitely going to be really tough for MSU.
I think MSU just took back 2nd place, though. I think they just took back 2nd place. I think it's just Rio and 1. Granted, Rio has a pretty big break on their own, but they are by themselves. 2 red shells could end their race right here. Oh my goodness, it's so close.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of NCSU in the back right now, though. That's like
Oh, this is
3 of
scary.
bottom 4, 2 of bottom 4.
This is really scary for NC State. And as we go into the final
and
turn,
Pios gets hits out.
we do see Zay in the
Prism will
start
be able to
four.
shroom. He's going to be able to outspeed Nitro there, steal 5th. But that's a 2-3 for Morgan. 2-3-4 for Morgan. 2-3-4-6-7-10. That's another gain. That's another gain.
That is a really good race from Morgan State here. They are looking to run away with this in the final Grand Prix.
Plus 12, 3 races left. The biggest lead of the match keeps increasing. Oh my goodness.
This has been insane so far. That R-dubs was a great race for Morgan State here. They're in a really good spot now. You know, having that 38-point lead, that's basically an entire fridge of a lead here, which means that they're very, very comfortable here. It's going to be very difficult for NC State to come back here. And as we do see NCSU picking Waluigi Pinball, which is definitely an interesting track pick here. And we do see Morgan State going for Bowser's Castle. This is definitely going to be some interesting tracks. Waluigi Stadium kind of concerns me from NC State. Yes, they have that one spot, but they don't really have a lot behind that one.
This is true. And we will be going to Waluigi Pinball. Oh, this could be. I can kind of see what NC State's going for, honestly. I even if they don't have one, if Zay outlines you and gets a really big lead, all of a sudden you can pull like triple reds and really strong attack items just behind them.
Absolutely, and that's definitely I think
it's a big gamble, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the gamble they're going for.
Yeah, definitely a gamble, but they need a huge win here in this race in order to stay in this game too. So I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out for them. Taking some great lines here. Unable to get past the pinball, but it's not going to be a huge deal. We do see Prism here up in 5th, but we do see Zay once again running away with first place, but Rio not wanting that to be an easy first place for Zay. We are seeing a lot of NC State behind 1. Zay falling to 2nd, Rio taking 1st. This is going to be huge for NC State if they're able to hold on to it. The green shell and the boomerang hitting out NC State. MSU taking some of these front spots from NC State. Prism hitting the bumper. Oh my goodness, going down into 10th behind Nitro. Nitro getting hit out by Prism, but Prism also getting passed by Roan, and Green also getting passed, getting backed by the boomerang oh my goodness. I'm stuttering. I'm talking over my words. I cannot even explain what's happening.
It's so intense. I can't blame you. It's so intense.
This is insane.
Zay is still holding first. He bombs out Rio as we see on the minimap, but NC State pulls the blue shell, holding on to it for just a little bit. Zay creates a bit more distance. This is insane. Yeah, Zay's gonna get hit. Doesn't have a shroom or a horn. The gap is gonna close just a tiny bit. That looks to be 2-3 in favor of NC State. But we are approaching the last lap, and we need to see some big plays here. Oh my goodness! Unfortunately, getting hit by the pinball. He will take out the plant user though with the triple greets. Oh, but they get pull it built out. Yeah, okay, this is 2-3, possibly 4, 6, 7 for NC State. This is really big. Wait, I think Rio just took the lead. Yeah, Rio's in first. Wait, all of a sudden they're like top 4, actually.
Oh my god! Wait, yeah, this is huge! This is massive for NC State. If they can hold on to this, they are still going to be very much in this game too. This is an insane performance here going into lap 3 here. We do see that top 2 from NC State. I believe MSU taking 3rd. We'll have to see.
You gotta watch the red though.
Oh my goodness!
You gotta get Itsumi. The blue shell's out. A blue shell is out. You gotta get Itsumi or Prism up here though. Greeticle gets hits out. Prism with great avoidance of the bumper there, but he's gotta go a bit wide. These Morgan players are gonna pass him, and Shock comes out, and Zay dodges.
Oh my god! This could be devastating.
Gets crushed out. Oh my goodness! Prism gets in the last place. Oh, but that's a top 3. It's a top 3 for NCSU, but Morgan gets everything after. That's gonna be a sandwich. That's gonna be a gain, but it's not gonna be a big gain. This Morgan State should still be over by 30 points. Yeah, that's only a +4. 2 races left. What an immense salvage there from Morgan. My goodness.
Yeah, that was a great salvage from Morgan State here, giving them the ability to stop that bleeding that they were going to have on Waluigi Pinball. Only losing 4 points, they're still up by 34, and there's only 2 races left. NC State is in a really rough spot here. They need to have 2 amazing races to bring this back in favor of NC State. And we do see NC State picking Ice Ice Outpost here, as I affectionately like to call it, Lag Outpost, because it is one of the laggiest tracks in the game. So we'll have to see how that plays out for them. Morgan State opting to pick Royal Raceway here. Definitely a great track pick for their spots. Being in 4 to, I believe, 9, this is going to be a great track for them. But we do see Ice Ice Outpost, which is a really strong runner, and it's going to be really good for NC State here.
If Morgan wins this race by 8 points, they will be the Division 4 champions. If they win this race by 6, NCSU will need to top 6 to send it to Game 2 overtime. If Morgan ties or NCSU wins, then race 12 will matter. But the next 3 laps, are, I think, inarguably maybe the most important 3 laps for all 6 players on NC State right here. This is the go big or go home moment.
Absolutely. We do see Prism failing the shortcut.
Bumped out, unfortunately, yeah.
But they are opting to take the shortcut, get these shrooms, which is going to be really big for them here, because they're going to be able to make a little bit of a comeback here. But unfortunately, with Ice Ice Outpost only really having 2 shortcuts and none of them really saving a lot of time, there's definitely going to be a rough spot for them to be in. Prism getting hit out by the green shell!
The green shell just slingshot out of nowhere, and there's a blue shell as well hitting out some players on the glider. Looks like a Morgan State player got eaten up. And Zay has such a big distance, and Morgan State has 1, 2, 3, 5, it looks like right now. That's a commanding position for them.
Yes, but it isn't over until it's over, especially in Mario Kart. Anything can happen. So it'll be definitely interesting to see what happens here. Prism taking these cuts perfectly, managing to hold on to 2 shrooms here as they make their way back up into the middle of the pack. Definitely a really good spot for them to be in here, as they're going to be able to disrupt a lot of MSU here. And we do see NCSU starting to make their way back up into these top spots, but Zay and I believe Nitro being able to run away with this top 2 is going to make this very difficult. Prism falling off from the bump! But having those shrooms mean that they're going to be able to recover this pretty easily. But they are in 9s. This is definitely a rough spot for them to be in, especially with only 3 coins. There's not a lot that Prism can do here with only 3 coins. That's going to make them a lot slower than a lot of the other players
Oh my
here.
goodness, second place just got bombed out, but then they hit back the NC State player that bombed them and take back second place. Zay is... Prism driving off the track again. Unfortunate bump. But Zay has run away with this. Clearly is about to get first. A lot of Morgan players are right behind. This could be it. This could be the game. Prism pulls a buildo to pull ahead of some players. He could pass Nitro right here, possibly. He should have passed him. Oh, but he runs into the blue. Oh no. No, that's 2-3-4 though for NC State though.
This is big.
I think that's 5-6 for Morgan though. Yeah, 5-6, 9-10. Oh my goodness, what a crazy save, crazy shock. I think that's gonna it should not put away the match. But Morgan State is heading into the final race with a 30-point lead. If they get first place, I think they clinch no matter what. And I think even if they just get second place, I think they clinch no matter what. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but wow.
I believe you're right.
Oh my goodness.
With that, they just need to get one of the top 2 spots in order to win in this final race here. Going in to the final race of Game 2, Morgan State with a 30-point lead. That's got to be really, really good. They've got to be feeling amazing in their call right now. I imagine a plus 30. That is so difficult to give up. And on a race 12, that's just a great thing to have. NC State hoping they can claw their way back into this game 12, this match 2, hoping to, they're gonna have to effectively fridge in order to win this game 2.
Oh man, Royal Raceway for the last race of a Division 4 playoff match. For all those CKL super fans that maybe saw the end of Season 2 Division 4, you might be getting a lot of flashbacks here. I know exactly what energy NC State's trying to manifest. They want that last set shock, lap 3, to steal the victory. Let's see if they can do it as we enter race 24, Division 4 finals.
We do see a lot of NC State here in the front at the start of Royal Raceway, but Royal Raceway being a bit of a bagging track, really anything could happen here. Prism, unfortunately, in the grass, but pulling that true mid means that they're going to be able to hold on to second here. That trail from Zay, oh my goodness, they're getting trailed out by first. Oh, and now Prism here holding on to first place. NC State holding on to that top 2, but MSU just right behind them. This is still very, very close. Prism able to pull a bomb in first. That's going to be huge, especially if Rio was able to be overtaken by Morgan State here, with Zay right behind in third. And it looks like Rio did get hit out, and we do see, I believe, Morgan State having 2 through 7.
3 through 7, it looks like. Nitro is in the back for Morgan State, and I really like that play. You know, you don't, with the point lead you have now, you don't need Nitro in the front trying to fight for every spot. He's in the back either shock watching or going to pull shock himself. And he's one of their best at pulling it. And you see Nitro pull shock right there as I say it too. You see him use the shock. And now Zay's in first place, all grown. Morgan State coming rapidly up here into the top spots besides Itsumi and Prism and Rio. Blue is thrown, but Itsumi gets bombed out, but here comes the blue shell. And Prism does have a red in pocket.
What is that pathing from the blue taking the grass cut?
This could be a big play. Zay's going to get redded out. Prism, oh my god, what a great alignment hop right there to stay off the grass. Pulling into first, but it just might not be enough. This first place will not be enough if they have 2-3, if Morgan State holds on to 2-3.
You'll have to see and Zay looking to take out Prism.
And CSU has too many players in the back. They have too many players in the back. They could not win if they hold on. Yeah, that's too many spots in the back.
Oh, this
they
is
need
so
to
scary.
cut right here, right now. Oh my goodness.
And the Gilbert's taking the red from Prism. Oh,
right,
Zay can absolutely kill Prism here. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so scary.
He goes for it. There's a coin. It's over.
Landing in the grass. It is over.
Morgan State's gonna win it. Morgan State's gonna win it. The mountain has finally been conquered. The journey will finally be over. Morgan State 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 12. They will be your Collegiate Karting League Season 4 Division 4 champions by 44 points. Incredible game. Incredible game.
I just have no words. That was just amazingly played by Morgan State. Just the insane performances all around. And Zay, 152 in game 1, and then getting a 146 in game 2. Just incredible performance from Zay. Definitely the MVP of this set.
Yeah. That was insane. That was insane. For both games, incredible performance by both teams. They were so evenly matched. They played so phenomenally, and they played so entertainingly for everyone at home. But Morgan State, after trying for so long, will finally get their 6v6 banner. It looks like the teacher had a few more tricks up their sleeves that they didn't teach the student there. Incredible game. Wow.
Just an amazing set to watch as well. Game 1 being so close, only 6 points, and then Morgan State able to run away with that game 2 with a 44-point lead. And not to mention, that is after having Nitro DC in the middle of that game 2, meaning they had to make the comeback from a -20 as well, which is insane to see here, especially in finals with 2 incredibly strong teams.
Yeah. Incredible performance there by Morgan State. You know, and NC State, they put up such a valiant effort, man. They put up such a strong fight. It's unfortunate to see them go down like this, but we know they will be back, and they will come back stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, NC State, they are a team that is constantly grinding, constantly scrimming, constantly looking to improve. We definitely saw a lot of improvement here from past seasons in this finals. I'm excited to see how they continue to play and how they continue to improve as CKL continues. But just well played from both teams. Morgan State playing phenomenally.
And we will have an interview here with Zay, joined by the rest of the Morgan State team, actually. As they all flood into the broadcast booth. Gentlemen, first and foremost, congratulations on your
Thank you.
CKL Division Championship.
Thank y'all so much. Actually, this actually like feels insane. I'm not gonna lie. It's fine. We finally did it, and I'm so fucking happy. Oh my gosh, let me watch my mouth. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
The emotions are pouring out. The emotions are pouring out. I gotta ask you, and I gotta ask Nitro, man. Season 1, you missed out on playoffs off of a tiebreaker rule. Season 2, you went the distance versus Nebraska, but ultimately lost Game 3 by a hair. You know, Season 3, unfortunately, there was a lot of bad circumstances there, but finally, 4 seasons in, you guys finally climbed the mountain to get the championship, man. How are you guys feeling?
I just want to say, I'm very proud of all of my guys that have stuck with me since the beginning of last year, of my sophomore year. And I do know that I'm a little bit hard on them but I thought that I was hard on them because I felt like they all had like lots of potential in them, and I'm very proud that we're all like finally here and we finally did it. I'm just so happy with all my entire team. Freaking Mega, oh my God, Mega has been a godsend for us. Godsend for us. He became like that third star, and I'm telling you, if we do CKL Awards, Most Improved Player D4, Mega MZ. I'm telling you, bro. If there's anybody who I think who deserves it, it's Mega. Please give it to me. I'm proud of my team. I'm very proud of my team.
We love to hear it. And actually, I wanted to ask Mega a question next, because Mega, I did have the privilege to play against you in NRC FFA. You know, you came in, I believe, as a rookie last season for Season 3, and now you came in here Season 4, all this improvement. You dropped 94 Game 2. I think you got 3rd place overall, man. Congratulations. How did you do it? I don't know.
Well, just play more.
Very well said.
Yeah, I told them the grind. Yeah, go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
The amount of lounge events between last season and this season definitely helped. There was a lot of gains and a lot of losses, but the experience nonetheless. So it helped.
Incredible. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you, Zay, to the whole Morgan State team.
Thank you. So
I got one more question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just gotta ask. This is for Nitro, because your internet went out Game 2, man, right in the middle. Maybe the most pivotal. How'd you come back and just recover mentally and just hold on? And it's the second you came back on the races, you just started making the immediate impact again, dude. How do you do it?
I kind of find myself like, not saying I didn't care, but like, I feel like, okay, so like we all know, like, I have a history of like showing too much emotions and like caring a lot, so like I kind of just like pushed that aside and just figured like, or focused on what I could do for the rest of the race. So that definitely helped with like my mental, or like mental going in with I think I came in like race 6 after missing like race 3 through 5. Yeah, I want to say that was right. And then like not still keeping that like effective communication with my teams, like, hey, make sure like watch out behind you guys, use your cameras, make sure you take out the mid pack so that we can keep supporting Zay and like Mega, who would be like top 2 most of the time. I feel like that's just one thing I did different from like the past seasons and now. So I mean, and it's not just me. Like I'm glad everyone put forth the performance, because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I didn't have faith, but I mean, I kind of went in the finals like, listen, if we win, great. If we lose, I mean, I'm not gonna be too surprised, because like I've seen the work that like NCNW or NCSU put in.
NCSU.
Like me, yeah, it said NCSU.
Uh-huh.
Did I don't know. I'm tired. I'm glad to be done, especially since we were talking about this being our last season. But yeah, I mean, my answer was all over the place. But to long story short, I'm proud of the team for as much shit or as much crap I be talking to them about like not playing the game and whatnot.
Man,
I'm fully and well earned. Congrats.
happy to get Ronan and the men are leaving the school with a championship. That's all. That was the one thing I was coming in saying. I needed to get them something before they left, and I appreciate both of them. They have been awesome. They've stuck with me for the last almost 2 years, and I'm very happy to have spent those 2 years with them. So thank you, Brett and Jesus. I appreciate you greatly, and Dante for grinding up to be who you are now, and RT coming in. She did her thing. CC. Josh, we were supposed to have Josh, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what happened to him the first season. He just literally could not play for us because we are HBCU. I'm not gonna say much else.
Yep. Oh
So,
man.
yeah. But thank y'all for having us this season. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Well earned, if I do say so myself. As someone that played against you guys last spring, I know how hard you have been wanting this Zay and Nitro, and I'm so happy for both of you, and I'm so happy for the rest of Morgan State, man. You guys have more than earned this. Congratulations. Ambi, you got any final questions to ask before we let them on their way and celebrate together?
Where? Yeah. Go ahead, Amir. Thank you. Hello, Amir.
Yeah, so first of all, because I haven't gotten to say this yet, congratulations on winning Division 4. Definitely an amazing achievement. So one thing I do want to mention, during the regular season, you guys actually did lose to NC State in the regular season. What do you think changed between then and now to take this victory here in the finals?
Do you want me to be 100% honest? I told my team, we did this last year when we played as GBR. I said we're on stream. Don't embarrass yourselves this time, guys. And I said the same exact thing. Actually, I sent them a message that GBR Ouija sent to them before the match started. That the message said that NCSU has more depth than us, so they should win. Track picks will be our detriment going into this match. No repicks will be bad for us. I sent that message in our private chat, and I told them I want you to think about it every single race that we play. Them saying that they have more depth than us. So we just came in that mentality. We had nothing to lose. We were the 6-4 team. They were the 9-1 team. We were the underdogs. So I just told my team, why not?
Definitely a well-deserved victory here, especially with that mentality. That's definitely a really interesting insight, I think, that can maybe help a lot of other teams succeed. I do have one more question for you guys. What do you think was the most important race during this whole 2 games? What do you think was like the turning point for you guys that made you realize you could win this?
That's a good question. Let me go to the score by. Okay, so we actually genuinely had a panic attack once Nitro DC'd. I personally had a panic attack because we chained a -10 and a -20, and I'm like, there's no possible way this is happening now. I do not want to go into a game through the NCSU. And we changed that. We got a +8 on Twisted Mansion. That was what we needed. And then the +18 Mount Wario. That's when I was like, yeah. We were in the heads, and then we got the Mute City +20. The Mute City +20 gave us like all the momentum we needed. Not Mute City, Big Blue. They told us Ronan told us that they had shock, or I think Josh did, and yeah, Josh told us that they had shock. I was like, spam y'all dodges. They used the shock, and Ronan and Anthony had dodged all the way up. The guy gave us top 2, and I shroomed up 4 or 5. That's how I knew we were gonna win. We would win beyond that point. We just needed to hold on the lead.
That was definitely an amazing comeback to watch after the DC, and it's awesome to hear how you guys managed to make that comeback. And so that's all the questions I have. Once again, congratulations for winning Division 4.
Yep, congratulations, you guys. Immensely proud of y'all, and thank you guys so much for putting on a great show. We have just received word for the Division 2 stream that Arizona State has completed the perfect season, and they have knocked off Tennessee 2-0 to win the Division 2 championship. So congratulations to them as well. From everyone here at CKL, thank you for tuning in and watching. There's still one more division championship left to be played. Division 5 to be determined at a later date. But thank you all for tuning in. We will see you guys next time.
Mhm.